Nasdaq production.
What's it do? What's it do? I got this dope hat from the Russ concert. The journey is everything. I feel like it just fits the vibe, man. I love this hat. We're going to go over... Oh, wow. Nice pop up there. Very interesting. We're going to go over the S&P, the Nasdaq, and we want to see what's going on in these markets, right? So in the last video I posted about the S&P, this is the zone, right? It's around 4,100, 4,200. This zone, is it going to be our resistance now? And it looks like right now it's acting as resistance, but it also is shaping up some sort of a bull flag. And I don't want to get too excited for the bull's case just because there's really no significant volume coming in for the bulls. So what would be looking for, what we would be looking for if, you know, we thought this was some sort of a bull flag, we'd be looking for large volume coming in, something that looked like that, like something that's just obvious. This is kind of telling me right now that this zone is acting as a resistance. This could be a sign that we could be going downward again, right? Which wouldn't be too much of a shocker if we're being completely honest. It is the first time in a while where we've broken up in between the middle and the upper Bollinger Bands. So that is something to kind of be aware of. It's not huge, like in terms of being bullish, right? It's not like, oh, look, it's amazing news, but it's definitely something that we could be watching. The 8 and the 20 EMAs, what's going on with them? On the daily time frame, it looks like we are above them. So we want to hold this, right? If the bulls are coming back, and this is a little bit of a relief push for the bulls, we want to hold these EMAs. But when we zoom out and we go to the weekly, we're rejecting the 8. So it's tough to say, right? There's a lot bigger things going on. I think it's going to take a long time for us to really get the bulls back in control. The bears are for sure dominating right now in this little tug of war. So again, right, when we're looking at the weekly time frame, the bullish cross, the bearish cross, those are things we want to look for, right? So in my opinion, the way I'm looking at it is simply like this. Like, it doesn't matter, right? If you're dollar cost averaging into the stocks that you believe will be better after this little bear market, you're golden. But if you're looking for a trade, it's going to be a lot tougher for you, right? So think of it like this. In a downtrend, the only way you could make money as a bull is if you're buying during these small pushes, right? Or you're shorting at the lower highs, right? That's the only way you could be really making money as a bull. But in a bull market, right, it's higher highs and higher lows. That's an uptrend, right? So in this market, it's a lot easier to make money because even if you make a mistake, you could long right here. And technically right here is not really the greatest area to be buying because we have this pullback, but the trend is going to save you, right? So right now we're in a downtrend. The best thing, in my opinion, to do is wait for that bullish cross again. It could take a while, right? And if there is some major recession coming in, and there's still could be so much bearish news that could come out. And you know, when, like, have you seen the inverse Jim Cramer shit? Oh, that's hilarious. Go on Twitter, check it out. Basically anytime Jim Cramer says whatever his name is that even his real, I don't know. I don't know if it's Jim or not, but anyways, basically whenever he says something's gonna happen, the opposite happens. So he'll be like, oh, Netflix is a huge buy, and then it dumps. So he's saying there's not going to be a recession, but although there's so many factors in the, like, in macroeconomic level, that's kind of like pointing to us going into a recession, right? Very high interest rates starting to come up, rate hikes, all that shit, right? So it's interesting. If we do this, it's going to go lower, and that's why I have this right here, this zone, juicy area. We come back into here, it's almost too obvious in my opinion. And I don't know when it's going to happen, or even if it is going to happen, but we do come back. If we do come back into this zone, it's kind of like, really, they're going to gift it to us like that? I think that's where I'm going to go big time long, right? That's where I think it'll try to bottom out for sure, is if we come back into this zone. Like, we were in this area, and this was a significant area, right? Early 2020, mid to late 2020, like this zone was a zone where we would try to come back to. If we come back into there now, I think it would be perfect to buy. So I will be keeping a major eye on that. We could even mark it out somewhat like this, where we have this 3,200 zone, and then we can mark out this 3,500 area. And I think that we come back into there, and that's where we're going to want to see a base potentially, or where we could see the 8 EMA getting way too extended from the 20, right? Like, see how these big gaps happen? When the big gap between the 8 and the 20, when that happens, we tend to want to come back to it until eventually we get that bearish cross. So what we will be looking for is, if we do hit there, some base, and then we'll be looking for that bullish cross. That will be the perfect time to look for that trade to go long. It'll be so easy for you to spot. Now, when we're looking here on the Nasdaq, again, right, I pointed out a few weeks ago that we were getting too extended from the 8 EMA, so there's going to be a relief bounce. We did get that relief bounce. This was like a 10% bounce almost. Let's mark it out, right? 12% from the lows. So when that happens, there's going to be some stocks that, you know, get that push. But for the meanwhile, what I'm paying attention to is, what I'm going to be looking for is these 8 and 20 EMAs, right? Look, uptrend, support, like multiple times, right? It's now a downtrend. We're going to be looking for this as resistance. Where is it going to take us down to? So we've already hit this upper line here, this zone. So are we going to get lower into that zone? And if we do go even lower than that, where could we potentially go? So there's a few different like pointers that we could look out for here, right? The bullish cross. We could look for a base starting to happen, starting to get way too extended from the 8 EMA. We could also look at the Bollinger Bands in this case, right? This is the weekly time frame. Start looking at the Bollinger Bands and see when are we going to get that push above the middle Bollinger Band. So these are a few different things that I'm looking for when I'm watching the markets. Like right now, again, I've said it in the past few videos, I'm pretty hands off. I have Galaxy and Bitcoin that I'm dollar cost averaging into. But other than that, if I want to get that trade, I'm really not looking for it. I'm just piling some cash. So then when the opportunity does come and I do see that trade opportunity, you can then smack it, right? So again, right? This is just something I've learned over the past 2 years. And again, it was like late January when I realized, oh, trading is not working for my strategy right now. I need to stop. Or else you're just going to dwindle your account down to what, right? It's not worth it. Especially because the past 2 years was really rewarding for me. I don't want to just give that all back. That's insanity. Like, screw that. Now is when you watch and you just patiently wait, because the time will come. And when it does come, you're going to be ready for it. So again, right, let's go back. We'll go to the S&P and we'll just look at basic things we're looking for, right? If there is going to be some sort of bullish push, this bull flag is what I'd be looking for right here. So I'd like to see, are we going to get some breakout from this bull flag? So that's what I'm looking for from a bearish point of view, right? Are we going to play in the zone a bit and then we get some sort of push to the upside? If so, this zone right here, again, resistance. So we need to pay attention. Are we going to get some sort of a fake out where we get that big push and then we crash back down? Because the bears are in control. So don't forget that. And then look, it's pretty similar here too, right? This is the Nasdaq. And when you zoom in on the daily time frame, it gets pretty similar in this range. So we want to look, this bull flag are we going to push up, get a fake out and then drop? These are a few different things I'm looking at. Peace, guys.